what are other cities doing? What are other communities doing? If it started in Detroit, there ought to be some, 20 years worth of best practices.
Yeah.
And there just doesn't seem to be a good answer to that question. It's like everybody has to fend for themselves. They can give you some rough ideas, but each community has to make its own decisions. Some are going to value the trees and are going to want to save them, the ones they can. Others are going to be just cut them down. Others are going to be, we're not going to do anything. And we're going to let the homeowner deal with it if it's on their property.
Different cities have rules about boulevard trees too.
Right. This is a very, I haven't worked too many cities where the boulevard trees, all of them belong to the city.
100%. Yeah.
So that's different too. Think of all the ash trees in the boulevard that we're going to be responsible for treating or cutting down.
Didn't Winona go ahead and cut a lot of the ash trees they had? They just cut them down?
They're doing it over a series of years. But again, they've invested in a plant. Now, whether they did that in-house or they brought somebody in, I don't know. I'm not comparing us to Winona. I'm just saying that, if we're going to make smart decisions about it, we have to be properly informed.
I'll tell you what I think is the smartest decision, instead of spending all that money like we did on these elm trees. We left them there anyway. When they died, we cut them down. I think it's a waste of money.
Well, with the Dutch elm thing, there were some grants out there though to help cut and replant. So that's maybe why we cut as many as we did when we did, because there was grant money available. So far, I don't know of any grant money for the ash borer issue. But back then it was different with the elm trees. And what we learned at the one thing we went to is you can't let ash trees stay too long, because as they die, they get very brittle and
They're
fall
a hazard.
apart,
Yeah.
and they become very hazardous. So we could cause all kinds of worse problems if we wait too long. We could cause more damage if we wait too long.
But I mean, if they die, we cut them down.
But they're dying from the top down, and then they're getting brittle and falling apart, and you can't always tell that from just looking at them.
I think you can.
Well, that's what the USDA told us, and that's what the Forestry Service told us. Just
So
said,
you're telling me that the tops are not green anymore and you can't tell that?
yeah, I'm telling you that that according to them, there are some trees that there's big enough limbs that are infected that you can't see from the ground, and those could fall.
And by the time you see the obvious death, it's already 2 to 5 years into the death cycle.
I think we even brought that up. We said, well, we just let them rot out, and then we'll cut them down. And they said, well, you can't really do that because they can get a couple. I think it's 2 or 3 years into the process. So if you don't take care of it, by year 3, 4, or 5, they could just not even a strong wind, they'll just come right apart.
So did they say anything about like the oak wilt? We've had the oak wilt around here. That's something done about that?
No, we didn't talk about oak wilt. We talked about emerald ash borer. The other thing is, these can be treated.
Quite a bit of expense.
They have been successfully done. Not the smaller trees. It's not really all that expensive to treat.
Really?
Yep.
Are they bore a hole in there?
There's 3 different methods. You can spray the trunk, you can treat the ground, or you can probe and inject it. So there's 3 different techniques. So anyway, don't need to, I just, maybe take it under advisement. We can talk about it at the next meeting. But without a tree board, council's gonna have to make these decisions.
Thanks.
Move to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Hansi, second by Mr. Colson. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes